It's Brown Style here, and today I'm going to be talking about my weight loss journey and also a few tips that I wish someone would have told me before having surgery. Number one, trapped gas. So it's a given that you have trapped gas. I mean, everybody talks about trapped gas the day after surgery because of the way that I think it's some type of gas that they put in your stomach to make it, or put in your abdomen to make it bigger so they can see your stomach when they're doing the surgery laparoscopically. And so of course you have gas at right after surgery, but nobody talks about the gas that you get 6, 7, 8 months down the road. So I guess I would log that underneath, I guess, a quirk or something like that, because my surgeon did tell me that I have more trapped gas than the usual person does. So I guess that's just one of my quirks now after having surgery. But yeah, I really wish someone would have prepared me, or at least told me about just how bad trapped gas can be. And then when you eat certain foods, and I'm talking about healthy foods, I'm not talking about junk food or anything crazy like that. I'm talking about a protein bar. There is a certain type of protein bar, and I think it's called Barbells, which I really don't eat anymore, but I used to love Barbells. That was kind of like my sweet treat, but I realized that Barbell bars, in particular the birthday cake version, it just tends to give me really bad trapped gas. So I can no longer eat Barbell protein bars anymore. So yeah, so you have to be super careful because trapped gas can actually, it can make you end up in the hospital. I actually ended up in the hospital because I had taken some oral iron because I am iron deficient. And so I just decided to get some iron supplements from the pharmacy near the hospital, like my surgeon and my medical team suggested. And for some reason, I just had a really bad reaction to it. And I had the most horrible trap gas that you could ever dream of. Like, at one minute I was fine and I had taken one of my iron chews, and then I had went to get my nails done and ended up actually going to the ER because it was that bad. And when I checked in and they got me settled in and they finally took me back for an MRI, they realized what it was, and it was trapped gas. And my colon had expanded so much that I think my colon had expanded like 3 times. I think my colon was like almost 10 centimeters. And they concluded that it was trapped gas that was stuck in my stomach that couldn't move. And I ended up throwing up twice. And it was just not fun. And I never realized that trapped gas could really be that detrimental to you in your weight loss journey long on down the road, like that. Like I said, they always talk about it before they prepare you for it after the day after surgery, but no one really talks about it like further on down the road. So I just want to let you guys know, be prepared for trap gas, especially if you've had the Sadie surgery. Now, I've had the Sadie surgery. So number 2, weird quirks. So yeah, sometimes and a lot of times after you have surgery, you do develop weird quirks. I remember actually talking to one of my radiologist techs because I was getting some x-rays for my stomach, and she was telling me that she has like horrible hiccups from having VSG. So whenever she gets full, or if she eats a little bit too much, even if it's just like a spoonful extra of what she normally eats, she immediately gets hiccups. She gets sneezes, and her nose gets runny, which is interesting because some of her symptoms I have, and some of her symptoms that she named I actually don't. So for me, I actually get runny eyes. So whenever I just get full, my right eye tends to get runny for some reason. And also, I get a runny nose as well. So my nose starts to run a little bit. Like whenever I get full, my nose is like, all right. And so my nose will just start running. And I'm just like, what is going on? And for a while, 6 months, I would say 8 months after surgery, my eye would just run constantly for a while. And I went to my eye doctor, and then I went back to my surgeon, and I actually found out that when you have a vitamin D deficiency, that it can actually cause your ducts to get blocked, which therein causes a runny eye. So that could have also been the cause of that as well, because I just had my labs done, and despite me being pretty good with my vitamin regimen, for whatever reason, my body just was not absorbing vitamin D. And so that could be a reason why I had constant or on and off constant runny eyes. So yeah, so always make sure you're getting your labs done and things like that, so you can catch anything before things get too serious. Not being able to eat certain foods, and these are certain foods that I guess I was super shocked by, because these were healthy foods, So for me, whenever I was cleared to start eating solid foods, I realized that for whatever reason, eggs and salmon do not agree with me. So yeah, so it's eggs, salmon, and salad. So I knew I was supposed to stay away from cabbage, but I did not realize that eggs, salmon, and salad would just be so much of a disaster. So whenever I would try to eat eggs, I tried to eat them at the 3-month mark. They made me super sick. Then I tried reintroducing them, I would say, in the 6-month mark. And yeah, it was no good. Same with salmon. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's those omega-3s, because I had SATI, and when you have the SATI, it targets fat, so you can't absorb fat, and you get diarrhea and stuff like that. So yeah, so I cannot eat, or I couldn't eat for a very long time, eggs, salmon, and salad. I've just now gotten to the point where I can eat salad, and it's been 15 months in surgery. So now 15 months post-op, I can finally eat salad. Eggs, I can eat eggs depending on how they're cooked. But if I'm at home and I try and eat them, like I try and cook them scrambled with oil or anything like that, they immediately make me sick. So really, I just avoid eggs altogether. Salmon is still touch and go. Like I said, it's been 15 months, and I've tried it again, and I'm still having issues. So yeah. And another thing I would note is that because eggs have just been such a disaster, I really don't have the urge to eat eggs anymore, because in the past I used to love eggs. Like I remember for like 2 weeks straight, I ate eggs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work before surgery. So just to give you an example of how much I love eggs. But now I don't even have the urge to eat eggs anymore. I guess since they just made me so sick, I just don't even have a taste for them anymore. So I don't miss them. Realize you can eat. So I can eat chicken, but, and this goes for any other meat as well, if meat is not cooked perfectly tender, then I can't eat it. Like if chicken, beef, or whatever type of meat is dry, it literally feels like I'm being choked while the food is going down my esophagus. So now I have to be extra careful about how I eat meat. And so when it comes to chicken, I can't even really like buy chicken in the oven or anything. I just go to Publix and I just buy a rotisserie chicken, because that's just how bad it is. And it seems like I'm being extra, or I'm just being, over the top, but like I really just can't really buy chicken and cook it. And I know how to cook. I have to be super careful when it comes to meat. So I just have to get a rotisserie chicken. So I get a baked rotisserie chicken. Don't eat the skin, because skin, like I said, I've had the Sadie surgery, and Sadie targets fat. So anything that's kind of fat, like skin or oily, or has a lot of fat in it, it immediately makes me sick, even still 15 months later. So I do not eat skin on chicken, whether it's baked or fried. And I don't eat fried food at all anyway. Not now after surgery. So yeah, I do wish someone would have told me, like, hey, you're gonna need to make sure that you test chicken out, or that your chicken is, it's tender, it's not overcooked, because something that wasn't overcooked to you before surgery can feel like sandpaper going, and that's just wild, like how particular your body is afterwards. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out there so you guys would know. So because of that, and because of the way that it targets fat, your diarrhea is very smelly, and your gas is really bad. And yeah, it's just bad. And it's really bad the first, I would say, the first 8 months. It's terrible. Then maybe after month 10, it gets a little bit better, but it's still pretty bad. And you can get what's called Creon from your surgeon's office, where it kind of helps you with digestion a little bit, but it's still going to be smelly, but not as smelly. And the reason why it's your diarrhea slash gas is so smelly is because, like I said, when you had the Sadie, it targets fat. So you don't absorb fat. So fat goes right through you. Whatever food that you eat that's high in fat, whether it's healthy or if it's not healthy, it immediately just goes right through you, and your body doesn't fully absorb it or process it. So pretty much when you going to the bathroom, not to be TMI, but when you're going through the bathroom, you're pretty much pooping out fat. So that's the main reason why it's smelly. So that's just the full gist of that. So there is a way to lessen the diarrhea. So pretty much what I did was, since my body was just not agreeing with salmon and eggs, what I did was I just ate baked chicken with no skin and squash. So I would alternate between baked chicken, no skin, and squash, or baked chicken and Brussels sprouts. So I would eat that every day, every single day during the week, along with my protein shakes and maybe a protein bar. And then on the weekend is when I would experiment with different foods. So I would see what else that I could eat that my stomach could tolerate. This is strictly or mainly for women, okay? Obviously, you're a biological woman, you have boobs, right? So I've always had big breasts, and they've always been saggy to me, even before weight loss, back when I was almost 300 pounds. They've always been saggy to me, and I've always wanted a breast reduction and an implant and a lift and all of that good stuff, even way before I had surgery. But I never realized just how much your breasts, your boobs sag after you have weight loss surgery. And I could have never imagined, like, going from a triple D to a D would be so violent. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't even have the words to explain that. And I'm so thankful, that obviously my boobs aren't as big as they were before, because at that point before surgery, they were starting to actually give me issues and give me back problems. But yeah, like a 36D is regular, but it just feels like I feel so self-conscious and so flat-chested, even more saggier than they were before. And trying to shop for bras has really been draining. I've tried on so many bra brands, even the ones that would be considered like the gold standard, like Waco, Soma, and I still haven't found the right bra. So before weight loss surgery, I used to wear Lane Bryant, and Lane Bryant for me at the time before surgery was a really good brand for me. But now it's just like, I don't know, like I'm struggling out here. And yeah, so having a breast reduction, well, not a reduction because my boobs have gotten substantially smaller now, but a lift and an implant is like number one on my to-do list. So I do want to let you know, ladies, you should take that into account and just prepare for it. Yeah, just be prepared, because that really feels different. Because I always felt like my boobs kind of even me out, especially with a good bra. But now even with a good bra, like I just still feel immensely flat chested. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind as you're losing weight. And for reference, I went from a 46 triple D to a 36D for reference. All right, one of the main thorns in my side, body dysmorphia. And this is funny for me because it goes both ways for me. But yeah, so body dysmorphia is huge, and I've heard people talk about it, but like you never really can get the full gist of it until you're in the situation. So yeah, body dysmorphia has been like, it's been like, whoa. I do feel now that I'm 15 months post-op. I do feel like my brain is starting to catch up with the fact that I've gotten much smaller. So just now I can really start to see like, okay, like you're slim now. Like you don't look like you did 10 to 12 months ago. So now my brain is just starting to catch up. And that's kind of nice, because now I can see, all the hard work, has paid off. But yeah, and so I feel like I've had body dysmorphia when I was big and now that I'm smaller. And what I mean by that is, now looking back at old pictures of me, I feel like when I was bigger, I felt then at the time I was actually smaller than I was, but now there are times back, especially back when I was only 6, 7, 8 months post-op, where I felt still incredibly big. So that's something to look out for too. And I would absolutely recommend that you guys, that you just always take progress pictures. As soon as you're out of surgery, as soon as you get home, start taking progress pictures. It's one thing to always be on the scale, but when you take pictures and you can see your progression, like that's pretty cool. So I would definitely recommend taking pictures and progress pictures. And I feel like that kind of helps take the edge off the body dysmorphia a little bit. Take your vitamins. Please take your vitamins, and please just take them. I really don't understand people who are like, I'm tired of taking your vitamins. I mean, really don't taste that bad. So I really don't understand when people are just like, I just didn't feel like taking my vitamins. Like, please take your vitamins. I've actually talked to people who were like, oh, well, I didn't take my vitamins for 2 years, and now they're having issues with their eyes, all because they just, and this is quote, they quote said, I just didn't feel like taking my vitamins, so I kind of just stopped taking them for a while, and now they're having serious health issues in their eyes. Or there was this one person, my surgeon told me about, when he was telling me I needed to up my vitamin D, he was saying that this person was like fairly young, like 28 to 35, and they didn't stay on top of their vitamin D deficiency, and now they're having, what is it called? They're having bone fractures because he wouldn't take his vitamin D and his calcium. So please make sure you take your vitamins. Just take them. And I know it's kind of sucks because they are very expensive, but it's worth it in the long haul because you want to take care of yourself. And if something like bone fractures and calcium deficiency, that can be easily avoided. Like going blind in your eye can be easily avoided if you just take your medicine, take your vitamins. So take your vitamins. I do wish someone would have told me just how expensive buying protein is. And when I mean buying protein, I mean like shakes, protein bars, things like that. They just add up super quickly. Yeah, because even when I go to Costco, even going somewhere like Costco and getting what is it, Premier Protein, I think a 16 or 18 pack is like $35. So for me personally, I could go through something like that, especially at the beginning, like the first 6 months. I could go through and that's my stomach doing whatever. Sorry. And I could go through a 16 to 18 pack of protein shakes in a week and a half for the first 6 months right after surgery. So 35, that's almost $70. That's almost $70. So $70 for buying 2 packs of protein boxes, protein shake boxes, then protein bars, then vitamins. So it really does add up when you think about it. So that is something to keep in mind. Make sure you have a budget for things like that, because it can get really expensive and you do need it, so you can't go without it. So just make sure that you budget for things like that. Also, when it comes to protein shakes and stuff like that, if possible, I would try and buy, like, at least if you haven't had surgery already, I would wait until after you've had surgery and it's been a few weeks before you start just buying boxes, because right after you have surgery, for the first, I would say at least the first couple of months, like, your taste buds change. So you may love the peanut butter Premier Protein flavor, but then the next week you may be like, ew, this is nasty. And you may jump to the strawberry flavor, and then you like, oh, I don't want the strawberry flavor anymore. And so then you may like transition to something else. So I would say, even though I know it's more expensive to just buy it in the 4-pack, I would just buy like a bunch of different flavors in the 4-pack version and see which one you like the best after surgery, and then go from there and maybe buy the big pack. I would drink the caramel one because I love coffee. Before and after surgery, I still love coffee. So before surgery, to prepare myself, I would just put it in plain coffee, and I was like, oh, this is great. So I drank it for a year, but as soon as I had my surgery and I got home from surgery and I tasted the caramel Premier Protein again, I was like, this is disgusting. I hate it. And yeah, so make sure you kind of like experiment and decide what type of shakes you want to try after surgery. So I would not encourage you to just go buy up a whole bunch of boxes. I would just maybe try a couple of 4-packs first after surgery, and then see what it is that you like, what your taste buds agree with. Least. And I have my notes here, so I'm gonna look at my notes really quick. Oh, okay. So taking time off, and I see this all the time. So normally what happens with us, and I think this is with any type of surgery you have, like, a lot of people, for the most part, they feel pretty good. And, when you're home from surgery, you're only eating, well, you're not eating, you're just drinking protein shakes, chicken broth, and anything that's liquid based. You're not eating any type of solid foods for at least the first 1 to 3 weeks. So when you're just drinking like protein and on the liquid diets, as they say, your stomach is pretty much fine. Yeah, it's a little bit sore, but it's, you feel pretty decent. At least I did. And it's not until you start introducing food, and I'm not even talking about solid food, I'm talking about when they approve you to eat puree on day 14. everything goes out the window and you feel complete trash. And then you have diarrhea and you have all these other things because obviously your stomach's been cut. And for some of us who've had the SATI, for us or for all of us who've had type of surgeries like the SATI or the DS, then you have a new digestive system and that's getting reacclimated. So like you feel like crap and you're always on the toilet, you're always in the bathroom. So for me, I would suggest that you at least take the first 3 months off, at least. Because that is like, that encompasses the honeymoon phase, which I said is the first 1 to 2 weeks, because you're just drinking liquid. You're on a liquid diet. So, and then the sunken place hits. The sunken place hits when you start reintroducing food. So when you get cleared to eat food, like the parade stage, that's when everything flies out the window and you land in a sunken place. So for that reason, I don't care if you have a desk job, if you are a teacher, if you're in corporate, I would suggest taking at least 3 months off. So your body can just get used to everything. And so you can just, you feel comfortable being able to run to the toilet or, just laying down. Like there were times when, and this was a month out, when I would eat something and I would just get extremely sick because my stomach was still recovering, and then I would just have to go to the bathroom, and that would literally take all of the strength that I had, and I was just going to lay in my bed and curl in a ball. So, yeah. So I would definitely suggest that no matter what type of job you have, that you at least take 1 to 3 months if you can. So that is the end of my tips, or shall I say things that I wish someone would have told me before surgery. And comment down below and let me know if you enjoy that, because if you guys do, I'll definitely make sure I do a part 2 as a follow-up. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.